what the hell are you doing? Sitting around like a lazy little bitch hoping some random trader on the internet will hand you the perfect trade? Are you kidding me? You don't want to learn how to read the market for yourself. You don't want to put in the effort. So what do? You buy some random signal from someone you don't even know just because it might hit. That's how desperate you've become, huh? Looking for shortcuts and easy wins. Newsflash, there's no easy way to make money in Forex. It's not a fucking casino. You think that by following someone else's trade, you're somehow going to be successful? What are you, fucking sheep? That's right, a goddamn sheep. All you're doing is getting led to the slaughter, and you're too goddamn stupid to realize it. Stop waiting for someone to feed you trades. If you can't trust your own analysis, if you can't make decisions on your own, then get the hell out of this market. The market doesn't care if you're too lazy to learn. It doesn't care if you've got no confidence in your own ability. All it cares about is who's able to read the chart, understand the patterns, and act on them without depending on some random jackass for their perfect signals. Guess what? No one's going to hold your hand and make you rich. If you can't figure out how to trade by yourself, then you're just another loser throwing your money away. But you don't care, right? You just want someone else to do the work for you. So you buy those signals, thinking they're going to be your ticket to easy profits. But here's the cold, hard truth. You're not learning a damn thing. And the moment the market goes against you, you're going to panic like the little bitch you are. You won't know how to get out of that trade because you've never bothered to learn what the hell you're doing. You don't know how to analyze the market, so you just end up following some idiot's trade that wasn't even right in the first place. You've got to be absolutely fucking delusional to think that relying on other people's signals will ever make you a consistent trader. It won't. Trust me. You'll lose more than you'll ever win. And then you'll sit there crying, blaming the broker, blaming the signal provider, blaming everyone except yourself. How about you take a hard look in the mirror? The problem is you. You're the one who won't put in the work. You're the one who's too scared to trust your own analysis. You're the one wasting money on other people's trades like a fucking idiot. Here's the thing. If you want to be a professional trader, you can't keep living in this fantasy world where someone else is going to do the thinking for you. If you're sitting there waiting for a signal to come in, you're not trading, you're gambling. That's the truth. You're not in control. Someone else is. You're just praying that their trade is going to work out for you. But that's not how success works. No, you have to take control. You have to trust yourself, trust your own process, and build your own strategy. That's the only way you're going to succeed in Forex. Let's get this through your thick skull. The market doesn't give a shit about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're scared. It doesn't care if you're lazy. The market only cares about who can make the right decision based on data, patterns, and analysis. So if you're still depending on someone else's signal, you're already out of the game. You're just another fucking statistic waiting to get wiped out. And guess what? You're not even serious about trading. You're just looking for the easy way out. You want to throw your money at some signal provider and pray it works. But what happens when that provider gets it wrong? What happens when you lose your money because you didn't know how to analyze the market yourself? You'll blame them, won't you? But deep down, you know it's your own fault. You never took the time to learn how to read the charts, how to understand the patterns, how to make your own damn decisions. You just sat there like a lazy bitch waiting for someone else to do the hard work. But that's not how it works. If you want to make real money in Forex, you've got to stop being a lazy fuck. You've got to stop depending on others. You've got to put in the effort and learn how to trade for yourself. That's the only way you're going to survive this market. If you're not willing to do that, then you're just wasting your time. Get out now before you lose everything. And if you still think that relying on someone else's signals is going to make you a successful trader, then let me tell you straight up, you're fucking delusional. You're never going to get anywhere with that kind of mentality. It's the kind of mindset that keeps you stuck in the same losing cycle, throwing away money like a dumbass. You'll never be a professional trader unless you're willing to take responsibility for your own trades, to learn and to trust your own analysis. So stop wasting your time and start putting in the work. If not, just quit now and save yourself the pain. You think by buying signals from random people, you're gonna somehow get lucky and make it big? Newsflash, motherfucker. That's the exact kind of thinking that's gonna get your ass handed to you. You're chasing a dream that's as fake as the signals you're buying. There's no such thing as a free ride in Forex. If you're not willing to do the work, if you're not ready to put in the hours, then pack it up and leave. This market doesn't give a shit about your excuses. Let's talk about how fucking stupid it is to trust someone else with your money. You're putting your hard-earned cash in the hands of some random trader who doesn't even know you. What the fuck makes you think they're gonna care about your account as much as you do? They don't. They don't give a damn about your losses or your profits. They're only here to make theirs. And you're just a fucking sucker hoping that their trade will work out. That's all it is. You're gambling your money on someone else's predictions. Someone who probably doesn't know any more about the market than you do. You think just because they're making a few winning trades here and there that their signals are somehow magic? You must be brain dead to think that's the way to succeed in trading. It's not magic, dumbass. It's probability. No one wins every time. No one. If you can't even understand that simple fact, then you're never going to make it. And you can keep hiding behind those signals all you want, but when the market goes against you and you lose your money, don't come crying to anyone. Don't point the finger at the signal provider, the broker, or anyone else. You know who's really to blame? You. You're wasting your time, your money, and your chances at success. You're scared of trusting your own instincts, scared of making decisions on your own. So you keep buying those signals, hoping that someone else's success will rub off on you. But it won't. That's not how this works. If you think for 1 second that trading is about finding the perfect signal provider, you're living in a fantasy world. You're not going to get anywhere. Not in Forex, not in life. So here's the brutal truth. If you can't even trust yourself to make a trade, you're not a trader. You're a follower, a loser, period. Trading is all about making your own decisions, backing up those decisions with solid analysis, and having the balls to stick to your plan when shit hits the fan. It's not about looking for someone else to tell you what to do. It's about learning, adapting, and improving. But you'd rather sit around hoping someone else will do the work for you. Well, here's what happens when you're too lazy to learn and too scared to make your own decisions. You lose. And you lose big. And let's be real here for a second. Do you think the pros out there are sitting around depending on someone else's signals? You think the guys making consistent profits are out there buying signals from some random dude online? Hell no. They're reading the charts, analyzing the data, and making decisions based on their own knowledge and experience. That's how they win. They don't need to depend on anyone else because they've put in the work. They've earned that confidence. They trust themselves. And if they lose a trade, they don't blame anyone else. They take it as part of the process, learn from it, and move on. But you're sitting there whining, blaming everyone but yourself for your shitty trades. Get it through your thick skull. There's no easy way to win in Forex. There's no shortcut. You don't get to skip the learning curve. If you're not putting in the time and effort to understand the market, to learn how to read the charts, to understand the fundamentals, then you might as well quit now. You'll never get ahead. You'll never make consistent profits. Because every time you depend on someone else for your trades, you're throwing your money down the drain. You think that buying signals is going to save you? It's not. It's the exact opposite of what you need to be doing. You're relying on someone else to tell you what to do because you're too damn lazy to learn it yourself. And guess what? That's why you're losing. That's why you keep getting wiped out. Because you're too busy looking for someone else to do the thinking for you. You're too busy depending on luck. You're too busy being a fucking coward to step up and take responsibility for your own trades. Real traders don't rely on signals. They don't need someone else to tell them what to do. They've learned how to read the market, how to spot opportunities, and how to manage risk. They know that losses are part of the game, and they know how to handle them without freaking out. They're not looking for a quick fix, a shortcut, or a magic signal. They're building a foundation of knowledge, experience, and strategy. They're making their own decisions, and they're sticking to them. And that's why they make money. But you're stuck in this cycle of buying signals, hoping that someone else's success will rub off on you. It won't. You're never going to make it that way. You're never going to be a successful trader if you can't trust yourself to make decisions. You're never going to make consistent profits if you're not willing to learn and improve. So stop pretending like you're serious about trading. Stop wasting your time on other people's signals. Get off your lazy ass and start learning. Start putting in the work, or get the fuck out.